Welcome back to the On the Court podcast. I'm your host, Alexa, as always, and today it's going to be a bit more of a Lakers-focused discussion because the last episode I did was more general. It was talking about the Hall of Famers, all that sort of stuff. But today, let's talk about the actual things happening in the NBA right now. And I'm following the Lakers, obviously being a big Russell Westbrook fan, now following the Lakers, and I've grown to enjoy going for the other players on the Lakers, okay? I was never a huge LeBron fan in the sense of always following him in that, but now I go for LeBron and I really like following him. I've always been a Dwight fan, even though people didn't really like it. Melo, I've always been his fan. It's a fun team to watch when things are clicking, okay? That's just the reality. When the things are clicking, it's just a fun team to watch. There's a lot of nostalgia behind it, back in the days, the old players we used to watch. So I'm following the Lakers. Essentially, I'm following the Lakers, and we were on like a nice little 4-game win streak, and then we had a blunder when we hit Memphis again. We just can't seem to overcome Memphis beyond that one win where we were lucky that Ja Morant missed those free throws. We were lucky in some sense with there, okay? So we just can't seem to break through them. So on one hand, I'm not overreacting because, okay, cool, we've won 5 out of 7, and the 2 losses came from the one team who is on a hot streak and won now for 9 in a row. Okay, that's just the reality of it. But at the same time, there's things that I keep seeing that's annoying me, things that I keep seeing that's making me uncertain of where the future is for this team, and specifically where it's kind of making me worried about what the future holds for Russell Westbrook in LA, because he's not looking like himself. And I'm talking more so when I watched his interview after the last game. He just didn't look himself. He's always been aloof when it comes to reporters, and I never really had a problem with that. He came out with some fun videos before, and I never really had a problem because at the end of the day, we don't really know the true reason why the way he's like that with reporters. Maybe he suffers from anxiety. Maybe he's an introvert, and therefore that whole environment of reporters, it causes stress for him. And at the same time, he's always received hate. So how is he going to be all happy and stuff when it comes to reporters when he knows that everything he says is going to be scrutinized, aka exactly what happened after the interview? Okay, he apparently laughed off and questioned that he's the point guard of the team. People onto him about that when we don't really truly know why he said that. And then it didn't seem himself. It seemed like his confidence was down, like he was just frustrated, stressed out. And honestly, in some ways, and I don't even know if this is the exact reason, but I can't blame him when you look at the fact that he's being grilled on everywhere. You go on social media, go on Twitter, and you see it everywhere. If he has a high turnover game, he gets broken down. If he has a 0 turnover game but doesn't score as high as maybe he's been accustomed to, they grill him. No matter what he does, they grill him and they say have to trade him. And the fact that he came to LA, okay, his hometown, to play for the Lakers, who is his team, growing up, and then now he's being scrutinized to this level, it's obviously going to get to him. At the end of the day, they're all human. And honestly, when I've always looked at Russell Westbrook as being very openly human as an athlete, he's never been shy to just express how he's actually feeling and let his emotions get a hold of him and stuff and show that he actually, is a human, as they all are. But it just makes me concerned because is this going to be continually affecting his play? Because they want him to reduce the turnovers, but then he's not the Russell Westbrook we know and love, okay? He's not the aggressive Russell Westbrook. And yes, I get the aggressive Russell Westbrook. He tries different things. He goes to the rim, and sometimes, that will lead to a turnover. But now when we take that away and when people are scrutinizing from the turnovers, he's not able to be Russ as they want him to be, so to speak. How does this affect the team? I mean, we had a few wins there where he wasn't as, high of a scoring threat in those games, but he did all the other things right. And even in this game, he got quite a few assists, he got quite a few rebounds, but, the shooting just wasn't there. He's not, the touch that he used to have around the rim, it just doesn't seem to be there as what he used to be. And I understand he's never been a greatly efficient scorer. That's fine. But now he's kind of gone down a bit of an edge, and I wonder how much of that is psychological because of everything that's going on, the pressure of playing in LA. And I've got to call it out. I'm used to being an OKC fan, and then I went for that 1 year in Houston and then 1 year in Washington where it was just the 1 year, so I can't really use that as a basis. But I went from being from OKC where the fan base is, from what I can remember, generally positive and it was all going well and all that sort of stuff, to now where honestly the Lakers, I'm not a fan of their fan base. Probably one of the worst fan bases that I've had to go for. And I don't care about saying that the fact that I'm right now technically an LA fan because I'm going for LA. it's just not, everyone just scrutinizes everything. And I feel like that might be affecting the play. But okay, that's what I feel when it comes to Westbrook. But then beyond that, LeBron, you can't fault him. He's doing his thing. I mean, he's playing crazy good. I watch him now, like, this is the kind of games I was missing out on when I wasn't really truly following him as much as I should have been. You know, I was missing these moments. And yeah, he's just playing great. We can't fault it. Then Malik Monk is obviously a great find. Apparently, you know, no one wanted him in free agency, and then the Lakers scooped him up. Awesome. But he had a down game. He had a down game the last one. It wasn't a good shooting night for him. Of course, he's not going to get scrutinized like Russell Westbrook. We already know that. And then, you know, THT's had a couple of decent games for his standard in the last couple of weeks, you know. But overall... Okay, sorry, I had to pause there. Thing went off. But yeah, essentially the team as a whole didn't play well in the last game except for LeBron. But the scrutiny is not there for everyone. But, you know, that's just something we have to live with as Russell Westbrook fans. But overall, where do I see this team going? Honestly, things were clicking, okay? Cylinders were firing. Things were going well in the last 4 games before this one. So I'm actually still optimistic. I'm optimistic to see where this is going. They've shown that they can play defense when they want to play defense. Offense has never been an issue except for the nights where most people or some people are not really firing. That's fine. You know, sometimes that happens. People have low games. We'll see how we bounce back against the Kings tomorrow. But yeah, I don't know. Like, at the end of the day, this season didn't go off as well as we wanted it to be. When I first heard that Westbrook was going to LA, I was like, okay, I have to go for a new team now because obviously I follow Westbrook. You know, I want him to win the championship. And awesome. I was happy with the Lakers, you know, finally get to follow some. And then we got, you know, Carmelo Anthony. Awesome. I started getting all these players that I enjoy. Sweet. Things were going well. And I was really optimistic and things didn't really start off that well. But there are a number of different reasons. LeBron has talked about how it is related to not having their team there most of the time. And we've had injuries and we've had, you know, now AD's out. I'm curious to see how he fits into this whole thing when he comes back. We've still got none that we have to wait to come back on. You know, Kendrick's still waiting his turn. So I'm optimistic because things are starting to click more. I'm not going to use this one game to demonize the whole season going forward because at the end of the day, we just hit a very hot team and that team beat us twice in the last 7 games. That's just the reality of it. And you know, Ja didn't even play that well compared to what he's previously played. Like he had that great, amazing block, which was crazy. I mean, it literally looked like he was floating. It was like, whoo, like it was crazy. But he didn't have his classic Ja versus the Lakers kind of game. And they still beat us and that sort of stuff. And, you know, there was a bit of that heat between LeBron and some of the players, namely, you know, Desmond Bain, or as I made the joke on Twitter, the T-Rex, because yeah, his arm short. Yeah, you know, you get it. It's a bit of a joke. Okay, if anyone from his team's watching this, don't stress, okay? Don't stress. It's just a bit of teasing. But yeah, the Lakers, I see them now as a much better team than they were at the start of the season. Like I said, things are clicking better, but we need a better Westbrook. Okay, he needs to do better. Like he didn't play as well as he should have been. His shooting hasn't been there, but I feel like a lot of that could be mental. I did also see on Twitter some Westbrook fans, they were mentioning he's probably exhausted. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I mean, he's played every single game now, and he's always playing at that very high-paced level. It's understandable he's probably actually exhausted, and because of all the injuries they've had and the fact that they need to get some traction now, like it's, you know, it's not like this is the right at the start of the season. We've got a bit of time. We need to get things going now. He has to keep playing, okay, at least until the All-Star break, which will probably give him a bit of break to rest up and all that sort of stuff. But we'll see. We'll see against the Kings if there's a bounce back. If we have a really poor game against them, that's when I'll start being worried again. But honestly, we need like a nice mesh of the classic Russell Westbrook with the less turnovers. But at the same time, we also got to stop trying to run him out of LA and thinking that that's going to be better for the team. Because realistically, he's probably not going to be traded. And it seems to be taking a mental toll on him to some capacity and affecting his play, even if it's directly or if it's indirectly through him not trying to do turnovers and not being himself, okay, not being his aggressive self. Just things to consider, okay, just things to kind of think about. It's top of my mind. I didn't really have an agenda for today's episode. I just wanted to turn on the camera, put on the microphone, and speak to you and tell you what I think. So that's what I think. Team seems to be coming together. We've got some good offense going. We've shown that we can play defense, which is the biggest thing here. But there's still some things lacking in terms of rotation. I mean, we're playing small ball, which is great for scoring, great for, you know, getting the speed up in the game, but it's not great when you're versing teams that are just crazy on the boards. Like that game, I still don't know how we came against win with the Wolves. I don't know how we did it. I mean, they were just killing us on the boards and we still came out with the win. So I'm happy. I don't really care. A win's a win. At the end of the day, I'm one of those people that's like, did we win? We won. Cool. Keep moving forward. But at the same time, we've got to have some better rotations going, or being more flexible with our rotations, not being so rigid. But I'm not the coach, so I'm not even going to talk too much about that. Essentially, what I feel is we've got to stop trying to run players out of places, because it does affect them mentally. They're human at the end of the day. We've got to start embracing the positives of each player, even if there are some negatives that come along with it. Although I do say like there has to be some reduction in turnovers. I get that. But overall, I'm enjoying where the team's going. I'm optimistic. We'll see how we go. Like I said, the next couple of games. So we've got the Kings tomorrow, and I think we've got the Nuggets in a few days. I'll be interested to watch the Nuggets game to see how we go there. But yeah, I'm optimistic. We'll see how it goes. But just want to share a bit about what I'm thinking. Yeah, look out for the next episode and we'll go from there. Talk soon. I'll see you on the court.